So I'd like to thank you for being my first interviewee for my project called Values That Appreciate Sport.
No
Thank you so
problem. I'm
much.
honored to be here and honored to be your first interviewee.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Me as well.
So today we're joined by Jessica Clements, 2024 Big West Player of the Year and former Cal Poly standout who finished seventh all-time in hits. She continued her journey at UCLA as a 4.0 academic All-American and delivered a walk-off home run in the Women's College World Series. She was also selected in the 2025 AUSL Draft, third round, 16th overall.
Wow, that's quite the highlight reel.
Yeah, I you have a lot of accomplishments in your career so far.
Had a few.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it. It's crazy how this sport is, but definitely have had some great moments. Makes it all
Yeah.
worthwhile.
So I want to start here. Is there a value that creates a sense of awe in your heart when you see someone living by it?
Definitely. I feel like there's a few values when I would say watch any sport or any athlete compete. The biggest ones would probably be their resilience and determination. Regardless of if someone gets out or if you're at practice and maybe not having a good day, still showing up and putting in the work and wanting to get better and develop their craft and how they show up for their teammates and their endless support for their teammates. And I think along with that, back to that competitive edge, having an unwavering joy and love for the game. No matter what they do, they love what they do and they show up every day. And you can just tell when someone's playing for the love of the game and because they have fun. And I don't know, that's just something that hits really home for me because I've had quite the journey. And at any point, whether it be lower level, higher level, the top level, it's always been about having fun and enjoying the game. And I think that value, that's the whole reason why we do it. It shouldn't be for anything else. It's for the love of the game. And I think that goes really far. And that's something that really shines for me. And that's something I see in a lot of athletes.
And what does resilience and determination look like for young girls? Like, what does that look like?
I think, regardless of if they have a bad game or if they've had the best game of their life thus far, I think it's them still continuing to show up and wanting to put in the extra work at practice, showing up early and taking extra reps, asking for one more after you make a mistake at practice. Always expecting greatness from themselves. They know that maybe they didn't get it that outcome that time, but next time they come up to bat, they're ready, they're hungry to go get another at bat, they're hungry to get another ball, they want to be the one to make that play, to get that hit. And just that grit, that desire to be the one or to have someone else be the one, just to win, an unwavering
Hmm.
commitment to winning.
And your path wasn't the traditional route, moving from a mid-major to a power four and now the AUSL. What mindset or habits helped you stay consistent through each level?
Yeah, that's a real. When you sent me this question, I this was something I was thinking about pretty heavily, and I won't lie, I think I was a bit nervous jumping up each level, like going from travel ball to going to Division 1, and then being a mid major going to Power Four. I wouldn't say I was scared, but there was a little bit of fear, wondering how I would perform and if I could handle the challenge. But for me, the biggest thing that really helped me persevere and push through and know that I could do it was that the game doesn't change. We've been playing this game. You've been playing, I don't even know. How long have you been playing for? A long time. I've been playing. Yeah,
Me?
how long have you been playing for?
Oh, for like 6 years.
Okay, 6 years. I've been playing since I was 8 years old. It's been the same game since I was eight, since you've been playing 6 years ago. The game doesn't change. The game doesn't know who's supposed to win. It's still the same ball, same bat, same amount of people on the field. And just knowing that regardless of any level, I'm a competitor. I love to compete and I'm training for excellence every single day. And when I'm at practice, I'm treating everything game like in any capacity, even if it's just free reps, free swings, free throws. I'm have the mindset that whatever I'm training is with purpose and I'm doing it to go to the next level, whatever level that might be, and I'm ultimately competing to win. So, regardless of what level I was at, it was always just that commitment to wanting to be excellent both on and off the field, and just knowing that the game doesn't change. It's the same game, maybe just more elite players, but it's still a pitcher throwing to me. I'm still a hitter. I'm still in the outfield going to get reps to make some good plays, trying to throw people out. regardless of what it is. Maybe the game speeds up a little bit more, it's just a little bit quicker pace, but it's the exact same game that we've been playing since we were kids.
And what would you say to other young girls who might be dealing with a nervousness um before games or just like you said, like when you move from
Hmm.
school,
I
you
think
just yeah.
the hardest thing, you can't control those fears, right? Like they're all, for me at least, they were all good nervous fears. Like it's just I was so antsy and ready to play. Like I knew that I could compete at that level, but for young kids, I think it's really trusting your training. We practice so much. Our sport, you practice for so many hours. You put in so many extra reps outside of your own team practice or team scheduled practice, and just knowing that you prepared for every situation. Again, it's the same game, right? Like you have a rise ball, drop ball, whatever. You
Hmm.
know how to hit, you know how to field a ball. It's just trusting your training and trusting that you've been preparing yourself. And there's times too where it's difficult, right? Like you may not be feeling on, you may feel like, oh, maybe you haven't gone on in a couple weekends. That's the game, and that's the part where you need to persevere through it and just trust in yourself that you've prepared for every moment of the game. You've trained every possible pitch, every possible situation that could be played on the field. Just ultimately, like you have to have a certain belief and confidence in yourself, because at the end of the day you've only got you, right? No one, you're the one in the batter's box, you're the one on the
Hmm.
field taking charge. And I think another thing on top of that for young athletes would just be really leaning in on your teammates, knowing that maybe if you aren't the one to get it done, that there's going to be people behind you. There's 8 other girls behind you, and people that maybe will come off the bench that will have your back too. So it's not all always on you.
Okay, awesome. Who has had a strong influence on your journey and what did they teach you?
Now this one is pretty lengthy. There's been a lot of people that have impacted my journey in my life, especially in the sport of softball. Um, Someone who hasn't had a direct correlation with myself that I've really looked up to from a really young age is Kobe Bryant. I think that mentality of
Okay.
never satisfied really resonated with me really, really young. When I would go to tournaments and I'd come back, maybe I didn't have a great game or we lost in the semifinals or something, I always came back and was hitting in the backyard right when I got home. Always working on trying to be better. And that came from Kobe, never satisfied. Like, what can I do to separate myself from other people to get to where I want to be? So that's one of the people. But I would say the people immediately, there's quite a few, so bear with me. Um, my dad has been one of my biggest role models for sure. He didn't play in college, he didn't really do college, but he was a person that pushed me to want to be out there getting extra work in. He drove me to all my practices. He's the one that pushed me when I didn't want to wake up super early in the morning. Even when he was giving me, those tough moments sometimes when they you, but
Yeah.
it's just because they believe in you and they want you to want it so bad and they want you to succeed. He really pushed me when I didn't have a lot of people to just be my best and want to really use my talent to help benefit my team. But aside from my dad, there are a few other people that I could think of. At Cal Poly, Puppy Gina Vecchione, she is
Hmm.
the biggest lover of the game. I don't know anyone that loves the game more than her. She has so much energy, but she was my rock. Anytime I could even text her right now. There was times I was struggling, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel off, whatever it might be. She was always a person that reminded me of who I was and who I am and who I am meant to be. And that was something that I really needed in times when you're feeling down. It's really challenging to kind of pull yourself out of that. And she's just my biggest hype
Hmm.
woman, I would say. And then, of course, Coach Lisa at UCLA and Coach I, they really put their belief in me,
Hmm.
and they've really brought out more competitive greatness and excellence in me, really training me to be my best and also reminding me of who I am and knowing that I'm an elite softball player. I know how to play this game. The game, again, hasn't changed. It's the same thing. I know how to play ball and just doing me playing free. And then a couple other people that I could think of outside of the sports realm. I met here at UCLA in my master's program for transformative coaching and leadership. Their names are Dr. Pelikova, Dr. P, we call her, and Dr. Mar. And they are two very, very strong females, boss ladies, empowering individuals that have really pushed me outside of my sport to want to make an impact, however that might look like, whether it be on my classmates or sharing my story or giving back to the community, just really giving us the opportunity to be proud women in sports and to keep creating a path for young girls like yourself to be able to have these opportunities to keep playing. And then lastly, one other role model that really hits to home this past year was Dr. Mondo. He was our sports psych, and he really transformed my mindset and love for the game. He helped me play loose and free and reminded me that I am not my sport. I am much more than my sport. Yes, I'm an athlete, and I'm everything else outside of my sport. And I think we get so caught up in who we are as athletes and our craft and wanting to be great all the time that we lose sight that we have so much more to life outside of our sport, and our sport's not meant to consume us. And he really helped strengthen my relationship with the Lord this past year, and really just leaning on him and trusting his process and his story. And that we called it my hero's journey, essentially, where every moment
Mm-hmm.
that I'm working towards is coming for something greater for my big moment, aka which ended up being the World Series. But every single moment that I put in the work is building me for something greater, and it's prepping me for whether it be on the field or for life. Like I have something to fall back on, which is the Lord, and that I can never disappoint him. And he's given me this great opportunity to play a sport that I love and that I'm talented at it, and I get to enjoy it and have fun, and I'm meant to play free. And all those people ultimately, they just really have given me the strength, and they have given me that belief in myself, whether I was on top of the world or I was in the lowest of lows, just reminding me of who I am, and that again, I'm not my sport. I'm a great softball player, but I'm also so much more than that. That was a lot. I'm sorry, but a
Awesome.
lot of people.
Yeah. No, no,
So
no.
many more
I was
people.
listening.
There's
Yeah.
so many more people that I could list, but in my immediate people that I could think of, those are the ones for sure.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. What has the game taught you that goes beyond performance?
Tying into that as well, it falls back on that I'm more than my performance. It goes so much more beyond that. You only have so many opportunities in the game, right? You probably get 3 or 4 at bats each game. I'm an outfielder. We get a lot of action, but some days you get no action out there. So regardless of my performance, a big thing that I take pride in is how I show up for my teammates. How can I support them? How can I make them better? How can I push them? How can they push me off the field? How can I be a person for someone, or how can I be a person that they can lean on? How can even if it's academics, like how can I be there to support them? How can I make them a better player, a better person? How can I fulfill them and make that impact on other people without incorporating our sport to feel fulfilled as a human? Because again, we're humans first before the athlete. Mental health is a super big part of the game in our mental resiliency in that mindset, and I think that can be challenging in a sport where you're failing most of the time. And I think really having a big support system is really crucial, and the life skills that come with it too. Like again, we fail way much more than we succeed. So going into life, you've already failed so much that you know how to better handle failure, and that failure doesn't define you. It's actually a moment for you to learn and a better opportunity to better yourself and to grow from it. And I think it's given me a lot of life lessons, but ultimately that I could do anything. And even in the moments where you are unsure of yourself and maybe not confident, you can change the game like that. You could change your life in the snap of your fingers. It's pretty incredible. This game can teach you so much, as I'm sure you've already have been learning. This game is full of life lessons. But ultimately, it's
Hmm.
just knowing that, again, separating yourself from the athlete and the person, we get our sport is something we get to do. It doesn't define who we are. How do you show up for other people outside of your sport? How do you spread love and make it fun for everyone else outside of the field as well? It's all about community.
And what would you say to other young girls who are kind of like struggling with defining like yourself from a sport?
That's a great question. This was something that I had trouble. It took me a while to learn because my whole life has been softball. I mean, I'm a smart kid. I like to do school, but I was consumed by my sport all the time. And Man, for kids struggling, I think the biggest thing is to find hobbies outside of your sport. Figure out what you like to do outside of your sport. Like if it's a random Saturday and you don't have any softball, what are you doing? Going for a bike ride? Going to the beach? Do you like to read? Do you like to hang out with your friends? Do you
Yeah.
like to go bowling? Maybe you like to color, you like to draw. Maybe you want to learn how to cook, pick up a new hobby. Maybe you want, I don't know, get outside, go for a walk. I think just finding what you love to do outside of your sport is super crucial and figuring out what you want your life to be. And I think in those aspects too, finding out kind of what you enjoy doing helps bring you more fulfillment in your sport. It takes the pressure off of yourself just thinking about softball all the time. When you strike out and you go 0 for 3, man, awful. It consumes you, right? It's so hard. You're like, man, I could have been better.
Hmm.
We lost this game because I went 0 for 3. I could have gotten the hits. I swung at bad pitches. So what? That's the game. We're meant to fail, unfortunately. But then coming back, oh, you come home. Oh, great. Now I get to color. Take something to take your mind off things again. Figuring out what you love to do outside of your sport. And you may not know, but that's the whole magic of it is learning what you like to do. And the only way to learn what you like to do is to try new things. And that's really what I've learned, especially in this past year in my self growth journey, is and not playing this whole past year because now I'm a grad assistant. It's figuring out what I love to do when I'm not in my sport.
And what do you think young athletes sometimes overlook about growth?
Yeah, another good question. Um, I think in a time right now with social media and the greatness of how our sport is growing and how much more visibility we have for our sport, I think something that gets overlooked is we're caught in an age of comparison, over analyzing what our swing should look like, what our fielding should look like, how we're supposed to be on the field, what we're supposed to look like, how we're supposed to talk, how we're supposed to show up. Are you working as hard as everyone else? And while those things are great to make you an elite player, I think it's really challenging sometimes because, especially you, like at a young age, you're just learning the game. You're supposed to be playing to have fun. You're not at that level yet to be competing for a national championship. It's all prep work to get to that point. And I think at young age we put so much pressure on ourselves because we're comparing ourselves to what we think we should be and what we should look like. When that's not the case, it's meant to be playing for the love of the game and doing everything in your power to get better. And sometimes that means doing more doesn't mean it's beneficial too. I think I'm a prime example of that. I'm not a person that always does extras. I'm not staying after practice every single day. While I pride myself in taking extras and doing it, there comes a certain point where in your mindset, if you're just getting frustrated, am I getting the most out of it? Am I clear minded? Am I intentional? Am I purposeful behind my training? And that's the thing about growth, too. You may not be, it's not a linear slope and all of a sudden you're just going to be great and hitting 1,000 every time. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And it's, I think, especially in terms of growth, it's how you show up repetitively and consistently over time. How are you getting better over time? Your results don't define you. Your results aren't the only measure if you're growing and becoming a better athlete. It's how you're showing up. How did my swing feel? It's all about feel. Maybe you do get those good hits some days. Okay, but what are you doing on the back end? Like, are you feeling good at practice? Are you intentional at practice? Are you treating it game like? Are you competing? Are you excited to get out on the field? All those things. But the biggest thing I would say for growth is just we're so caught up in comparison where we all have different swings. We get to the same place to make contact, but our swings all look different. That's the beauty in our sport is that we have so much versatility. We all could do things differently and still get the same outcome.
Okay. And what makes a good athlete? Like a great softball athlete?
Honestly, anything and everything, but I would say the biggest thing, which I had mentioned in the first question, is just your resiliency, your grit, your willingness to not quit and not give up when things get hard. When things get hard, what do you do? Do you rise to the challenge or do you sink? For me, a great athlete rises to the challenge every time. Does that mean they're going to succeed? Of course not. I hope they do. I hope I do. Again, but that's not the reality of our game. But outside of the actual performance piece, What makes a great softball athlete is how they show up for other people, how you support your teammates, your belief in your teammates. Because at the end of the day, one person can't win a game, it takes everyone. So when things aren't going right for you, how are you going to contribute to your team's success overall? And I think lastly, hard work. Hard work is something that separates you from everyone else. It shows on the field, it shows in your energy. You showing up every day, it's hard. It's hard. Our sport is hard and it's exhausting. We play long games. But your ability to really show up and put in the hard work, even when you don't want to, really separates yourself.
Okay. What standards do you hold yourself to even when no one's watching?
Good question. So this falls right into that too. Integrity. That is, what do you do when no one else is watching? I hold myself pretty accountable to that. Everything I do is with purpose. Again, like I said before, if I'm having a free swing, free rep day, I am still holding myself to a standard where I'm treating it game like. Maybe I am a little bit more loose, but I'm still analyzing my feel. I'm still analyzing my moves, figuring out how I could be better. There's always something I could do to get better. I'm never complacent with anything. Even if I go 3 for 3 and I don't really hit 3 home runs, but say I hit 3 home runs. I guarantee you, I'm still going to be the person that's like, man, I didn't even barrel that ball up, but I hit it over. There's always something I could be doing to make myself better. And I think that's something that also gets overlooked. But for myself, that's one of the biggest things. I'm doing everything with intent, with purpose behind it. I don't even need to be out there for 10 hours. If I'm out there for a solid hour knowing that I'm getting my quality over quantity, I'm golden because I'm putting in the work. I'm being mindful of what I'm putting in. I know what I need to work on. Maybe if I didn't have a good session, I'm prepared for the next day to show up even better than I did the day before. A big thing we say in softball is getting 1% better every day. And I think myself, I really hold myself into trying to be 1% better every day. Even some days, maybe I'm having a rough day and I'm really sore. Okay, how am I going to be 1% better cheering on my teammates when they're taking reps on the field? Because that energy goes a really long
And
way.
why do you hold yourself to those standards?
Because I expect greatness for myself. I want to be one of the best people out there. I'm always striving to be the best athlete. I want to be the one that hits the game winner. I want to be the one to make the game winning play. If not me, then someone else. Lovely. I love that. But I'm itching for the opportunity to be the one to make that play, to hit that game winner, make that game winning out. I want to be the best on the field at all times. Does that mean I'm always the best? Maybe not. But that's my goal. I always want to be the best. I want to be the elite of the elite.
How do you try to impact people around you, like your teammates, younger players, or even fans right now?
The biggest thing, that belief in others, your support for others. Again, we play a game. It's an actual game and it's supposed to be fun. I'm a big person when I compete that I don't like to show a lot of emotion. I'm learning now to how to show more emotion, but I was always a person I never wanted to be too high or too low, so I was always pretty neutral on the softball field. But the biggest thing is learning how to have fun and how to play free. And for young athletes, I just want to inspire them to play for the joy of the game and that it's meant to be fun and that you can transform anything in your life for yourself and you can have a greater journey than you could have ever imagined. And I think also this game never leaves you. Girls can do anything. It's a man's world, as people say, but I don't believe that. We are strong women, strong young girls, and the biggest barrier for ourselves is that we are limited by the belief systems that we have in our society. And I think for myself, just showing that no matter where you start, you can always have a great opportunity in the future and you never know where you're going to end up. We're always being put down, and I just hope young girls can just look at me and think that, wow, you really can do anything. The biggest thing is just my impact definitely would be to keep athletes in the game. And I hope they can look at me and see that I'm having fun and the game is meant to be fun. And you can still be competitive and determined and gritty and get frustrated sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's a game. And I hope people can look at me and just think that, wow, it also goes beyond our game. I try to show up and interact with all the fans and all the young players that come to our games because it's about giving back and inspiring people to want to keep playing or want to get into playing the sport because it's truly incredible what the sport can do for you when you see it through.
So when people watch you, what do you hope they feel or learn from you?
Good question, loaded question. Um, I think it's changed over time, but definitely like within my past few years, the biggest thing has been kind of as what I was just saying with the last question. I hope that they learn that they could do the unimaginable and that the unimaginable can happen for you. I came from Cal Poly, never thought I'd go to the World Series. I took a chance on myself to enter the transfer portal and to go get a master's degree. Intimidating, scary. I was terrified. I'm a loyal person. I was loyal to Cal Poly. I didn't want to leave, but I also there was just this itch, this desire for something more and to see what I could do on and off the field, both academically and athletically. I really took the gamble to do so, and it's been incredible. And I think in that journey, I found a new love for the game, and I hope when people watch me, they see that joy and that love for the game, and that I'm having fun, and that this game can be fun. I also never thought I'd be a professional athlete. Of course, it's always been a dream, right? Every little girl probably dreams of it. I never thought I'd get there because I started out at a lower level. I came from a small town, went to a smaller school, ended up at a Power 4 school, ended up now as a professional athlete. I knew I had the potential to do so. I was the one holding myself back. And I think the biggest thing when people watch me is that they learn that they should bet on themselves. They should want more for themselves. Anything you can do, you set your mind to, you can do it. And I hope they just look at my story and that they know that their story isn't over too. It's never over until you say it's over, and that there's always opportunity for you to be great in any aspect of life or any part of the game that you are playing, you know?
Hmm. So when people what do you hope your legacy in the game will be when people look back on your career?
Same thing. Really great question. I think the biggest thing would be that anything is possible and the hard path is always worth taking. Always worth taking. We never want it easy. Hard path is where growth happens. Love to be challenged. Again, I had this fear of going bigger and challenging myself, but in those challenges, you learn the most about yourself. Even if you fail, it's all an opportunity to learn and to be better next time. It's all a learning journey and how you can be better and how you can show up because all those moments build you. They build your armor. We call it Bruin armor, but it builds your armor to show up stronger and more resilient the next time. Again, does that mean you're never going to strike out or you're going to go 0 for 3? Of course not. But it's preparing you for how you can get better. But my legacy, man, I hope that they know that a small town girl, a small town athlete can make a name for themselves even when you don't believe it. It comes with a certain belief in yourself, and I hope that my journey is a reminder to them that if you just believe in yourself and you stay on the hard path and learn from that path, and you have a good support system surrounding you and people that see the potential in you and push you to be your best, that you can truly do anything. You can have that. It's not even mapped out for you. There's just a certain part of you that has to take that risk and bet on yourself to be able to get to where you want to be.
Awesome.
You're awesome. These
So
questions, wow.
thank you.
I'm impressed. How old are you again?
I'm 12.
I when you sent these to me, I was like, these are college questions. You really got me thinking. These are very, very,
Thank
very well
you.
thought out questions.
Thank
Of
you.
course.
So I do have some bonus
Oh
questions
yeah,
for
let's
you too.
go. Hit them at me.
So for young athletes looking for a travel ball program or even going to college, how do you know if a program is right for you?
Ooh, a program like college program or a team, like a travel team?
Both.
Both? Ooh, good question. I think travel for myself. and maybe in general, I really encourage young athletes to try to play up like a age level at some point in their journey. I think it exposes you again the harder path, right? Like you're getting exposed to
Yeah.
more competitive greatness early on and you'll learn. When you're hitting machine, do you always hit 55? No, sometimes you want to do high velo, right? You're getting ready for the next level just
Hmm.
to see what you're capable of. I think the same thing rolls over for travel team, but in terms of picking a team, I think being one that sets you up, at least for college, a team that goes to those bigger tournaments to expose you to college coaches, to get that exposure early on. Go to camps. Your travel team doesn't matter to go to camps, right? But the more skills you develop, the more opportunities for you to be on a better travel team. My travel team wasn't one of the elites when I started out. I was with them for I think 5 or 6 years. We ended up becoming more elite, but we were just a small town team that would just had the opportunity to go to big tournaments, and we all got exposed to some competitive greatness early on. Um, as you get older, I think in terms of picking a good team, one that gives you the opportunity, you're not going to stand out in front of college coaches if you're not playing. Not that there's anything wrong with being on the bench, of course, because those are, we call them the game changers. They are the ones that make a difference in the game. But if you're really committed to going to college and doing your thing, you have to be getting playing time because practice is not enough. So finding a team that gives you the opportunity to play, and maybe not the whole time, like maybe you're on a team and you do happen to sit the bench for a season. Great. What can you learn in that process to get better? If you're not seeing any improvement and you've gathered all that you need to know and all that you need to learn, then take those things that you've learned and go try a new team. Maybe you'll get your opportunity to make a start there. The other thing for college, this is a tricky one because everyone has a very different journey for college. And now, especially in the age of NIL, people are all going to schools for different things. For myself, as I said before, I'm really big on loyalty. It wasn't always about the money for me, it was about how can I set myself up for success. And for me, when I went to Cal Poly, there was just a different energy amongst the coaches, amongst the team. It really felt like I was stepping into a family, not stepping into a job. I loved the campus. The campus made me
Okay.
feel very like welcomed and wholesome. I enjoyed the scenery. I'm like, wow, can I see myself walking through this campus every day? Am I going to enjoy walking these hills? This field, oh my gosh, Cal Poly's field was beautiful. Bob Jansen. Looking at those hills every day, the bright green field, loved it. Coaches felt like my moms, loved it. The team, family vibes, showed up for each other, loved it. UCLA, I ended up choosing UCLA because I wanted to challenge myself academically and athletically. That was the same with Cal Poly. I wanted to focus more on academics. UCLA was to get the best of both worlds and hopefully go to the World Series. What separated them again was the standard that they had within their team, the culture, so to speak. There's a lot of different things that you're looking at. Do you want to go for money? Do you want to go for the environment? Do you want to go for atmosphere? Do you want to go for the team's record in their World Series appearances? Do you want to go for them winning conference? Do you just want to go just to play? Do you want to go to the Midwest because you've always wanted to go to the Midwest? Do you want to go to California because it's beautiful weather and it's always sunny? There's so many factors, but for myself, I would say to go to a place that feels like home. And there's no way to really put into words what that is. It's just a feeling you get, and how you create that feeling is to just ask yourself the difficult questions. Can I see myself here for 4 years? Do I want to do this walk every single day? If things are going wrong, softball's going wrong, school's going wrong, am I going to be happy here even with my back up against the wall? Are there going to be things here that's going to bring me happiness and know that my journey was worth taking? Am I going to have a good support system? Do I have friends outside can I see myself making friends outside of here? What are my hobbies? Do you like to go for a hike? Do you like to be outdoors, or do you like to go for coffee runs? Are there things to do here around your campus that you would enjoy doing outside of your sport? Because it's not just softball and school and sleep. You still have a life outside of it. So for kids that are wanting to pick a team or pick a school, you got to ask yourself those questions. And it's hard when you're so young, right? Like, it's great now with the rule change, because when I was getting recruited, I was been recruited since 7th grade. Now you have until junior year to start making your decision, right? I committed my freshman year.
Yeah.
It's really hard to ask those questions at such a young age, but as you get older and just practicing those things, that's where your parents are really helpful and everything. That's the other thing. Oh my gosh. As much as parents are super impactful and beneficial in your journey, they are not the ones going to school. They are not the ones playing at the field. It truly has to be where you see yourself. And if it doesn't work out, great. There's the transfer portal. As big taboo as it's been, it's grown to be more okay now. But if for some reason something really doesn't
Hmm.
work out for you, there's always another opportunity for you to find a new home. But asking those questions, if you can truly see yourself there, and if you don't know, then give it some time. But there is a way it will feel like home. It's just a feeling you get.
Hmm.
Sorry, that was really long.
No, 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 no.
Question.
I'm listening. I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Second, like this is like the second bonus question. So your walk-off home run in the Women's College World Series was such a defining moment in your journey. How did that experience shape your confidence and perspective moving forward, both on and off the field?
That moment was super super surreal for me. I again a year ago, prior to being at the World Series, I was in the transfer portal, unsure where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, if I was even going to get the opportunity to play again. And that whole year, as I mentioned, was we were calling it my hero's journey. Every moment leading up to the end goal of the World Series was prepping me for a big moment. And then it happened. And in that moment, I think as I'm moving forward into my pro career, it has given me a new level of confidence knowing that I can show up at any moment in time, and it could be any single one of us athletes, whoever's on the team. Any person can change the game with one swing. It also came on. There's another factor, I think, leaning more into God and trusting His plan and trusting that I'm not alone and I'm not my result of my at bats or my performance. And again, part of that also comes with prepping for that moment. Like I was preparing the whole season for the World Series. There was no guarantee we were going to make the World Series. I was hoping so because we were a really good team. But you work really really hard all year round to get to that point. And going now into the pro season, it has given me like a new level of confidence that I can ball out and I can do things. I didn't see myself much. I still don't view myself much as a home run hitter. We're getting there though, but I I can show up in those biggest of moments. I haven't even hit a walk off home run like that before. That was my very first all whole circle moment all through that, and yeah, I think that just it's one of my top life moments. It was just something that really makes it worthwhile and kind of like all my hard work paid off just for that moment, that one single moment, that one at bat pushing forward and just knowing that everything that I prepared for was literally for that moment and that I have more greatness coming after that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
It's
thank
really
you.
given me like it defined I think my opportunity to play professionally that I can have power and I can also play the small game too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
Of
this.
course. Any other questions not
Yeah.
serious? I'm an open
I
book.
mean, if you're open to, I'd really like appreciate any quick feedback on how I did as an interviewer and anything that can help me improve.
Girl, you were fabulous. This is the best interview I've
Thank
ever
you.
done. Your questions, amazing.
Thank
Really
you.
made me think. I probably have given you way more information than you even wanted, but I think that's better as someone that's interviewing because I'm a person that loves more information than less because there's so much opportunity to learn. You sat there,
Hmm.
you let me speak. You were fabulous. Your questions, man.
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
say your questions. I really got me. They were really great questions. Your energy,
Yeah, I really have to, I really wanted to just make them intentional.
they very much so, which is awesome. No, I think 10 out of 10, 100 out of 10.